Okay, let's go ahead now and we will just go and do one last little thing before we swip it down to particle distance 5, and we're going to do a kind of pseudo fake belt. Okay, so we're just going to draw a rectangle like that, any old rectangle. I don't know the size of it because it is going to be quite tight. Okay, and again, using the old material that's long gone, I'm just going to call this belt material. Okay, and you guessed it, we're going to change it to something pretty stiff. Let's use cowhide this time. Okay, and you could actually come down here, you could say stiffness bias. Let's put friction on pretty strong. We don't want it moving almost at all. Shear, stretch, stiffness. The stiffness is pretty high already, so that's pretty good. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, and let's go ahead and we'll give this a nice brown color. I know it's not grey. Amazing. I didn't pick grey for once. Okay, and let's go ahead and we'll put that into position roughly around there. And yes, you can use your arrangement points once again to assist you in this manner. Like so. And you can see that's way too short, so we do need to go ahead. Oh, no, we don't want to create a new rectangle. We just want to extend this a little bit. Right, okay. So, of course, don't forget, before we do this, before we hit simulate, it can be quite eager to jump the gun a little bit. We do have to put this on layer 1. Okay, and you get that little kind of thing flying up again, just ignore it. Stitch edge to edge, and watch the magic happen. He says, as the belt is incredibly loose and lax. Look at that. Okay, it's trying to do its job. Okay, it's getting a little bit kind of wrapped up in of itself. Interesting. Okay, so that's a little bit of a learning curve. That's fine. We'll just click on that. Definitely have to make it significantly shorter. This is a bit tighter. And we could actually, if you wanted to, additional frictionless collision. Let's double that. And we'll just go ahead and put 2 on that as well, just to give it a bit of a chunky look. Right, let's simulate that now. And that is much, much tighter. Okay, fabulous. Okay, so if the belt's there, let's freeze it. Stop the simulation. We will go ahead and freeze it. That's in roughly the right spot. So now we can take our shirt. And under simulation, we can just drag it out a little bit. And create those folds as if her shirt was tucked in. Okay. And look at that, you're getting those lovely creases on the back there. That's what you want. We've all seen these when we've worn shirts to work and whatnot. We've had all these before. Yes, we've had this common problem as well, where one side of the shirt is riding slightly higher than the other side. We've all felt that. We've all put our hands down our kind of belts to fix and adjust that constantly on a daily basis. Okay, and of course, one thing I didn't use last time was actually pressure. Now, be careful with pressure. Okay, I'm just going to toggle symmetry off, and then I'm going to put it back on again. Pressure basically is kind of like, well, I'll just show you. If you increase it, it will kind of inflate it, basically. If you decrease it, it will kind of make it kind of shrink a little bit. Okay, so that's the difference there. And don't forget, shrinkage, weft, and warp. Wow, 105, let's try that out. 102, yeah, okay, that's not so bad. Maybe let's actually reduce shrinkage weft to 95. Yeah, that's a bit better. Well, I say that, but then I'm going to change it again. Again, it's all tweaks and whatnot, guys, so just do what you feel is right, what looks right. Just try and get it to hang over the belt if you can. Favor that a bit more. Okay, so I tell you what we're going to do. We're actually going to do this now. I'm going to go back to layer 0. And let's simulate. And we should get slightly better collisions, I think. Yeah, there we go. Now that it's frozen, it's okay. And look at that. Look at I love this. I love the folds as they come down here. That's great. We're just going to pull them down a bit. We don't want them around the stomach too much. There we go, a bit lower. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go ahead. We'll select our shirt, all of this, and we'll do particle distance. It's on 20. let's go ahead and put it down to 5 and see what wonderful / awful results we might get. Okay, right, let's go ahead and simulate. Yeah, well, look at that. That's pretty good. I do appreciate that quite a bit. Now, it is quite tight around the sides, so we can see here some shortcomings of our garment at the moment. Okay, so it's always good to do this and come in and check, because if I put the thermal map on now, yes, you can see that around the chest area, it's insanely tight. Okay, so we do need to go in there and let the poor girl breathe a little bit. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, actually, it's this part here. Okay, so what we could actually do is we could fill that in again. Okay, that's part of the reason why it's a bit tight there. Okay, so around the back, it's probably not such a big deal, but around the front, it does seem to be a bit of a big deal there. So what we could do is I think we could, can we close this hole again? I've forgotten now. It doesn't seem like we can, unfortunately. Can we close this? Offset. Okay. What happens if we delete it? Yes. If we delete it, that's kind of solves it back up again. Okay, let's put the thermal map back on. And we'll see what the simulation does now that we've deleted that. We'll simulate it again. So I'd just like to point out at this point in time, can you imagine if we had not reduced her breast size? How much of an issue that would be now? Don't forget that before we did Marvelous Designer, we went in and reduced all that. Okay, and you can see that it's still pretty tight. Okay, so we're going to have to do a little bit of editing here and there. So, okay, we do need to kind of alleviate this a little bit because it is rather tight. I don't want it to be so tight. We could actually, and it seems a bit funny now because we're going back on ourselves, but let's delete those holes as well and see what we get. Okay. Sometimes you do this, it's, you know, you figure you do want something one way and it's, oh, that's best practice, but actually sometimes it's not. You've got quite a lot of stretching there. That is rather tight. Okay, I think what we'll have to do is, I think we'll just have to kind of extend this out a little bit. We could try with, I hate to say it, but I think we might have to just go with a curve point. Ugh. I never like these. I never like them. I don't like them. I'll go to the back as well, because this is where things start to get messy, but we're gonna have to do that, I think, because if you go to edit curve point, we've got to pull this one back in. Let's see, because we don't want any slack on the bottom, we just want slack around the top there. Let's try something like that. Spacebar. Oh, and our character model breathes ever so slightly. There we go. She's like, whoa, that's a lot better. It's a lot less tight around the chest. You know, like what Gimli says in Lord of the Rings. In fact, it could even stand to be a bit slacker, actually. So we could even sort of, another thing I would probably say is we make this a bit bigger. Always, this is the problem with the curves now, you see, is that we just resized that, and of course it's gone ahead and changed all that as well. So it is a bit of a what can we say, an issue adding these in sometimes. On hindsight, it might have been better to have tried that way first, but anyway, that should be okay. Let's go ahead and simulate that. So you can see now I'm keeping it on particle distance 5 all the time because I do want to genuinely track how the folds are doing and how they're behaving. And what you're having now here is you see it's pulling quite harshly underneath there because these are probably quite a drastically different length now to the sleeves. That's a 163 and a 156. 159 and a 162. So it's a bit backwards, so we're gonna have to move that a little bit over. Okay, and we probably could do it just pushing them out ever so slightly. Let's simulate that. See what we get. Okay, that's a bit better. It's a bit better. And you can see that as you're just kind of pulling at the fabric, yes, most of it does return to what it was beforehand, but you can influence some of the folds just by pulling it sometimes. Just be somewhat gentle with your pulls, because sometimes the pulls can be quite explosive, like you just saw there. Okay, so for example here, I want a bit more definition there. Okay. I mean, look at the definition on that side compared to this side. This side's a little bit bland looking, so let's see if we can't get a better fold style on this side. If that sets a little bit better, yes, look at that. Beautiful. Excellent. I really like this software. I love it and hate it at the same time. Okay, right. So I'll tell you what, we'll leave that there. Like I will be happy with that. I just want to come in with the iron every now and then, a little bit, and just do a little shh. And if you don't get what I mean by that, just do a little bit of a spray here and there and see what kind of results we get. I would like some folds that go all the way up there, so let's see if we can get them. Oh, what's that done? Oh, it's got some folds there. What about this side? Oh, yes, it's coming. It's creeping up. We'll just do some there. Oh, it's a little bit too much on the top. We'll undo that. I want to stay away from the very peak there. Okay. I think that's less beneficial than what I'd want. Can we pull it to make it a bit more suitable? Oh no, it kind of pulled on that area there a bit. I might just come in with the steam brush and just reduce that a little bit. Maybe by a factor of 3. So it's very, very fine tweaks just to get the fabric the way you like it. Okay, let's bump it back up again. We'll do a factor of 3, and let's do it across the chest a bit more. So we can actually make it look a bit slacker like this as well. But that's probably a bit too much now, so we'll undo that. It's very, very finicky is the word I'm looking for. It's finicky. It can be quite finicky. And we could do some maybe there. It's very symmetrical, isn't it? Yeah. Let's see. Let's reduce that a bit. Okay. So we're going a bit backwards and forwards. Just seeing how the garment kind of sorts itself out. Okay, let's pull the collar down a little bit. Actually, can we flip the normal on that? Should be able to. Yes. There we go. That's a bit better. So we can actually see what's going on with the collar there. And again, the collar is not fabulous. It's not great. I wouldn't say, you know, if this was the shirt that was going to be nothing else kind of on top, I would say we need a bit more work on this. But as we have the knowledge that we are going to basically supplant a vest on top of this, I'm quite happy to very much call this nearly done. I just wanted maybe a few creases. Just the kind of perfectionist-esque part of me. Just a smidge there. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Right. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Right. Okay. Well, hopefully you've got similar results that you like. Well, I just said that, but I don't like the result here, so I'm just going to pull on that a bit more. Okay, hopefully you can play around with this a little bit more, get results that you like, get the folds that you like, try and use the iron, although I would advise you use it sparingly, don't go overboard with it, which is, I have to admit, it's very, very easy to do that with, so try and use it sparingly, try and get folds that you like and whatnot, and just be happy with this for now, because we are actually going to put a vest over the top of it, and all this center part here, all these lovely folds, they're gonna go away for the most part. We're just gonna be bothered with the sleeves there, but hey, at least you learned some extra tools about Marvel's Designer maybe. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. So in the next video we'll go ahead, we'll keep our shirt here just in case it affects the fabric around it, but we're basically gonna go ahead and craft the vest top that would go on top of her chest.